The tragic murder of 13-year-old Hadiya Pendleton took place on January 29, 2013 in Chicago, Illinois, and remains a heart-wrenching case that brought national attention to the devastating impact of gun violence. Hadiya was a bright, promising student who had just returned from performing at President Obama's inauguration in Washington, D.C. She was a member of her high school's drill team and had dreams of becoming a lawyer. Her life was full of potential, but that all came to a tragic end in a senseless act of violence. On the day of her death, Hadiya and her friends were hanging out in a park near her home in the south side of Chicago. The group was just standing near a basketball court chatting and laughing when gunfire erupted. Hadiya was struck by a bullet and collapsed in front of her friends. She was rushed to the hospital, but was pronounced dead shortly after. The shooting was believed to be a case of mistaken identity, with Hadiya and her friends caught in the crossfire of gang-related violence. Hadiya's murder sparked outrage and grief across the country, particularly because she was an innocent young girl who had been targeted for no reason other than the dangerous environment in which she lived. Her family was devastated by the loss of their beloved daughter. Her mother, Cleopatra Cowley Pendleton, became an outspoken advocate for gun control in the wake of her daughter's death, speaking out on national platforms, including at the White House, to push for stricter laws to prevent gun violence. In the aftermath of Hadiya's death, her family and friends painted a picture of a loving, dedicated young girl with a bright future. Hadiya was close to her family, especially her mother, whom she admired greatly. Her relationship with her family was strong, and they often spoke about how important education and community were to her. The loss of Hadiya was not just the loss of a daughter, but of a beacon of hope for her family and her community. The devastating ripple effects of her murder were felt by those who knew her, and her death became a symbol of the ongoing violence plaguing neighborhoods across the United States. The investigation into Hadiya's murder led to the arrest of several individuals, including a 15-year-old boy named Michael Ward, who was eventually charged with first-degree murder in connection with her death. The case highlighted the dangers of gang violence in urban areas and led to conversations about how to protect young people from becoming victims of senseless violence. Hadiya's family has continued to honor her memory by working to bring attention to the issue of gun violence and by establishing the Hadiya Pendleton Foundation, which aims to protect and empower young people.